Good evening, just back with another how-to video. Today it's going to be on a 2005 Renault Sport Clio 182, but I'm sure this applies to the Renault Clio 172 as well, and potentially any Renault Clio of that age. Which I believe they ran from, somebody may correct me in the comments, but I'm sure they ran from around 2001, 2002 up to 2006, this mark of Clio. Today's video is about a starting issue that I had on my 2005 Renault Clio 182. And the problem was that when I was going to start it, it would crank but would not start. So you would hear it making attempts, but it would not start, and I could try that 4, 5, 6 times in a row, just not happening at all. So the solution for me, that there can be many reasons for this, ranging from flat battery, TDC sensor, spark plugs, battery in your key fob potentially. There can be a range of different issues this can be down to, which can be mechanical. However, mine I discovered by accident, kind of, was related to the immobiliser, which you can see here flashing away on the dashboard. It's an old French car, and they are prone to a few electrical gremlins. I absolutely love this car, and I absolutely love 172 and 182s in general. I think they are one of the, if not the best hot hatch of that era. But they're French, they're old and they're French, and they can be prone to electrical gremlins, and this happened with mine anyway. I had the car for a reasonable period of time and used to just pop the key in and start it with no issues. I didn't think there had to be any kind of waiting or whatnot. Popped the key in straight away, turned it, and it would start with no issues. However, one day when I popped that in, I went to start it, would just point blank refused to start. I think I got out with the key still in and looked under the bonnet, checked a few things, was wondering if it was starter motor related, spark plugs, all the usual kind of things that you would check on probably any car, let alone just this one. And then by chance, when I get back in the car, while it was still turned in position 2, I went to crank the car over again and it started, which led me to think of more electrical type issues that there may be, and tried a few other things around the car before I actually just sat and thought about it, and realised that with my issue, which is still the same to this day, is basically if you put your key in and turn it to position 2, you'll see all the lights come on in the dash, you'll see the oil okay, and some will gradually go out. I tend to give the car around 5 to 10 seconds before I turn it on now, and that was the solution to my problem. It's quite a weird one, because when I had the car, I definitely don't remember or recall having to do this at all before with it. It always just cranked pretty quickly. So this appears to be an issue that has just appeared, overuse of it. But on some occasions as well, don't think this one, but on some occasions, if you listen often enough, sorry, that's just the daft old CD player making a noise there. But on some occasions when you go to turn this to position 2 before starting the car, you can hear the immobiliser making a slight squeaking noise, which probably gave it away as well for me. So it's just prolonging before it's been ready to start. So that is the issue that I had and how I solved it, just in case anyone else, because I did rack my brains for a wee while and was going to spend a fair bit of money on starter motor, spark plugs, things like that, that you would normally try, when actually I discovered it was this. So if you have a Clio of this age and era, be aware that the immobiliser can be a bit playful at times, and it may need a minute just to run its course before it's ready for you to start the car. So position 2, I was just listening there because in some mornings you do hear a bit of a squeaking, which I was wondering if it was anything else or the fuel kind of priming or whatnot, but it is the immobiliser. I believe sometimes it'll have a wee bit of a squeaking noise on mine, and then stops and is silent, and then you can turn the car on. But I do tend to just pop the key in even before I've got in the car and turn it to position 2, sort out my bag or sort out my keys or anything in my pocket before jumping in, and then the car's ready to start. So if you're having that problem where the car isn't starting, what I would advise you to do is pop the key in, turn it to position 2 in the ignition and leave it for 5 to 10 seconds and then try and start the car. This was the solution to my problem that I had when the car wasn't starting. Hope that's helpful. I'm aware for some people it may not be, because cars not starting issues can run a lot deeper than this, but I thought if that helps one person, might be quite useful. I may do another wee video on this as well. Apologies for the pale legs and the sports slippers I've got on at the moment. May do another wee video on this car. It is a Clio 182 Cup that I've got with very high mileage hero. Just shows you these French cars can last. Still on its original engine, with quite a few modifications to it. It's a racing blue in colour. I don't know if you can just see that there in the bonnet. Done a few modifications to it. We have the Recaro trend lines fitted. We have a pure motorsport shifter fitted, which makes the gear change an absolute delight compared with the sloppy one that you get from standard in these. And we have a few other modifications, roll cage, and I stripped out the back, so I don't really use it, and it is a weekend car for me. We've got some Bilsteins on it, we've got the Torinis on it, and a few other bits and bobs. So I may do another video on this at some point, just showing a few bits and bobs regarding it. But I'll end up there. Hopefully that has been helpful. Let's maybe end with actually trying to crank the car and start it, just to see. As you'll see, that's come on, no bother. So hopefully that's helpful for you. Cheers.